Namaste, my fellow strikers. This is Holy Materia here, and today I just want to talk a little bit about Season 3 of Naruto to Boruto Shinobi Striker. So yeah, we're all hyped. We got the confirmation about a week ago about that Season 3 is in the works. We don't know when it's going to release yet, but we're all excited for it, man. Like, I'm so hyped because this is probably the most fun I've had with the game, like maybe since Smash Brothers Melee, and that was years ago, like decades ago. And so yeah, I'm super hyped about this because I was afraid like the game was gonna die. Like, I was gonna keep playing, but I was thinking like lots of people were dropping off already. Once Naruto, adult Naruto came out, people were dropping off the game. But yeah, so this seems like it revitalized the community, and I just want to talk a little bit about like what we want, or what we can maybe expect, or like some things that we want to see in Season 3. So for one thing, I think that this would help with a lot of problems, or not really problems, but like a lot of things that people want to see in the game is just private matchmaking, and not just private matchmaking, but where you can make your own rules. So this would solve a lot of issues. Like, lots of people want to be able to do like 1v1s or even 2v2s and stuff like that. If you could make a private match and you could make your own settings, you could do a 1v1 just like that. We wouldn't even need like a new game mode or anything like that. But there could also be like a new game mode with a 1v1. That might be cool. But I think private matchmaking would be the first thing we need. So it would and this isn't even necessarily for me, but because I play solo a lot, but it would be so helpful for like clans that are trying to scrim, or like with all the tournaments that people try to set up, like clan wars, and now the new Shinobi World tournaments. Like, imagine if we could just make our own matches. Like, imagine the streams. Like, sometimes we sit there watching like 3 to 7 hour streams because it's so hard for the clans to get in their own matches. So imagine it'd be like a 40-minute stream. We could have a whole thing, and every match would be right back to back, right after the other. It'd be so good for the community, so good for like, how many tournaments would there be if we could easily like make matches with the team that we want, with the people that we want. So I think that would just be huge for the community, having private matchmakings. Clan system, that would be nice, where they could even make a new game mode based on a clan system. I've seen some people talking about that. The characters, most of the characters that I wanted are already in the game. I mean, characters I might want to see are maybe some more Cloud Ninja, like A, so that there's all the old Kage from Shippuden, and then like the new current Raikage, so we could have like some like Lightning Panther style, like Black Panther. That would be raw. So he'd probably be a range type, so I'd be hyped about him. But besides that, I just want to see some more love shown to the healers. Like, the first season we got like one DLC character, and the second season was better, but I still feel like the healers were probably like the least represented there. Even though we got a few like game changing abilities, like Water Pillar changed the game. To me, a lot of people don't talk about it, but Ino's heal changed the game to me, because like it made it so that you can heal in a completely different way than you could in Striker before. Like, you could like hang back and be in the back line like the way healers are in other games that are team based. In Striker, usually when you're healing, you have to like just be in the mix, jumping around, running from everybody. But Ino's heal kind of changed that, so you could kind of relax a little bit while you're healing. So those were nice jutsu, but I still want to see some more stuff for the healers, and also for range too. We need a move that can heal range types. Like, now that attack types have stuff that can heal them, range types shouldn't be the only class that can't heal themselves. So yeah, I'd like to see something like that. And new maps. Everybody wants new maps, and I feel it. I want new maps too. But in Soliel's defense, like, the maps on Shinobi Striker are kind of incredible if you really think about it. Like, most team-based games like this, they have more maps than Shinobi Striker, but each map only works with one game mode in most of those games. Like games like Overwatch or Paladin, stuff like that are team-based, the maps only can be used like in team deathmatch, or like push the payload or something like that. Like, they don't have maps that work for multiple game modes. In Naruto, in Shinobi Striker, all these maps work with 4 different game modes. Like, that is so impressive that they were able to make all these maps work with all these different modes. Like, the only map that I would say that is not good if for a certain game mode is the Cloud Village on combat, and like but even the Cloud Village on the other types, the other game modes, it's good for flag, it's good for base. Like barrier battle is not really that doesn't really matter, but cloud and base battle is still good for those, flag and base battle is still good for those. And even with combat, at least it's like a different way to play combat mode, because it's sort of like puts an emphasis on the aerial combat, which is one of the strengths of Shinobi Striker. So even with that, it's still nice, even though it's kind of annoying to play combat on the cloud stage. But yeah, so it's super impressive that all these maps, even though we only have 5 maps, they work mostly well with each of the game modes. So essentially, even though there's only 5 different places we go to, there's really like 20 different maps if you really think about it, because each map plays differently on different game modes. Like take the Rain Village for example. When you're playing combat, it's completely different than when you're playing flag. Like nobody climbs the buildings barely when you're playing a combat match, except for at the beginning when everybody's jumping off of the buildings to get into the fight. But because of where the scrolls are, nobody really goes up on top of the buildings. But in flag battle, since you have to return the flag on the top, you're on a whole different part of the map that you don't even utilize in the other game modes. So a lot of the maps are different because of the way because of the different game modes. And something else they could do, instead of just focusing on making new maps, is even like just rotating where things are, like the scrolls and stuff. Like there are parts in the Sand Village where nobody ever goes because there's no scrolls there. Like that whole section in the back in the back where there's like the pillars up on the side, and just nobody ever goes there because there's never any scrolls up in there, and it's just like a wasted spot on the map where it never gets used. But it's like a cool place that it could be a cool place to fight if they ever did anything up there. Yeah, there's a few parts like that on a lot of maps, so there's a lot of underutilized stuff. But if they did make new maps, maybe they could just make them for certain game modes, or like give us a new game mode with a new map, kind of like they did with the tuning exam, or not the tuning exam, but the tuning exam map when they did the survival mode. And also they could they can make like a new game mode, like maybe a 1v1 mode, and we could have the tuning prelim map. That would be a perfect map for 1v1s. They could do something like that, and that would be an easy map to make too. But yeah, I understand why Solio hasn't made any new maps, because it must be so difficult to make to design these maps to work with all the different game modes. So I can understand like why they haven't. But but like everybody else, I'd like to see something new just to make it a little bit fresh. And the last thing I'd like to see is for them to let us, this is something that I just personally want, but is for them to let us use the combos of our masters. So like, for example, Mei has that water style, like her combos have water. Like let us do that. Like we're learning from these masters, we learn their jutsu, why can't we learn their taijutsu? So let us copy the style. Like that would add so much to the game. There would be so many different ways to fight. Like right now, there's a lot of different weapons, but there's really only like 4 or 5 different styles of fighting with each weapon, because so many of the weapons have the same combos. So that would just open the game up so much, and there'd be so many possibilities, like things you can do. I know there'd probably be a lot of balancing issues. That's probably why they haven't done that yet. But yeah, it'd still make it a lot more interesting. It'd be cool, and they could just fix it as it went along. But yeah, so that's pretty much what I'd like to see with season 3. I'm just hyped that it's happening, so that like there's all these content creators will still be interested in the game and still creating content for Shinobi Striker, and just the community will continue to grow. And so yeah, I'm just hyped. I hope you guys are hyped too. That's all for me now. I'll see you guys next time. Peace and love.